sinners, and saints. Dust off those horns and halos. It's time for Alan After Dark.
Hello, my bodacious, debaucherous sinners and saints, whores and sluts and skank bitches and butt munchers, pole smokers. How the hell are we all doing today? I hope we're doing well. I hope we're sexy and fondling somebody's wiener if we want to and just having a damn good old time. I know the podcast has been kind of dark and not exactly as fun the past few weeks, so we're going to try to change it up a little bit and do something a little different. Well, not different, but more sexual maybe, or whatever. Getting back to our roots. How about that? Is that a good way to put it? Yeah, I think so. And no, I'm not drinking yet. I'm getting ready shortly to go not only to happy hour, but bear night. And it's college football day. So, woohoo. Oh, I don't care much about football, really. It's just seeing those white pants and the jockstrap lines underneath. You know what I mean? Oh, Jesus Christ. Hot as fuck. Oh, maybe Chris is right. Maybe I am just a dirty old man. Whatever. Well, if you didn't know, I have been having all kinds of problems here at the house.
Oh, no!
I had to replace my HVAC system. And let me just tell you something, kiddos. That isn't a cheap undertaking. It's quite gnarly, the cost. The one big positive was the guy who came to check out my current system before I bought a new one. He was going to give me an estimate of how much it cost. And let's just call him Keith. Well, Keith, oh my God, he knows what he's doing as far as wearing his uniform. Those pants that he had on accentuated his ass so wonderfully that you just wanted to get down on your knees and beg him to let you kiss it. I'm being serious, bitches. It was something. Anyway, he gave me the estimate, and when he gave me that cost, I about fainted. And I just thought, there's no point in spending that much money on repairs of an old system when the cost would be half of what a new system would be. So I just went ahead and got the new system. Once it was installed, I got worried because I kept hearing this noise from the unit in my attic, and I thought, it's running constantly. Before they installed the new one, at one point upstairs, it was over 90 degrees. It was miserably hot in this house. So much so that the night before they came to install the new system, I literally had to stay downstairs with a portable air conditioning unit and 2 fans blowing on me. And I mean actual fans, not humans who are fans of the show. Okay, let's just get that straight. So anyway, I got concerned about this noise, and so I called the HVAC company that I got it from and said, hey, I'm just a little concerned. And she's like, we'll send someone out just to check for you. Well, it was Keith again. And I opened that door, and there he stood, and he says, I think you're just wanting to see us more often. And it took everything I had to not say, yeah, I see you more often, naked. If he'd have come down with his dick out, we would have got it on right there. But I've said before, I'm not really into ass munching. I would have munched his ass. I'd have been chomping like a beaver.
Yee-haw.
But yeah, that was the one thing that helped ease the pain of spending so much money. And then on top of that, I have a good friend who is a contractor who does great work. I wanted to replace my doors that lead to my patio, the patio doors. And when he comes to do the replacing of the door, he discovers carpenter ants underneath. And that caused a whole additional panic for me and how much damage they might have done. But anyway, I almost wanted to call Keith back and say, hey, can you just come over here and look, and I'll eat your ass while you're looking? But that would be the plot line of about 95% of all gay porn, right? Totally. Absolutely. Jesus. But I'll have to ask all of you, have you had encounters like that that would have been a storyline in a gay porn? Have you? Or any porn whatsoever? I guess if you think about my encounters in the men's room at a certain nightclub here in town years ago, those could kind of fit that category, but the visiting plumber or carpenter, I've never had anything like that before, which really makes me feel like I've been deprived, like I've missed out on some sexual adventures. But in the words of Dorothy Zbornak, the Kama Sutra had to publish a supplement because of me.
Oh my God.
What the hell?
I wish I could take credit for that, but no. I know you all think of me as just a wet mattress, but I've not had as much sex as some people have, though I don't know how to gauge that. What does it mean exactly? Is there ever too many sexual partners? I say no. As long as you're practicing safe sex or whatever sex you want to practice and you're being responsible. And for some reason, I said responsible, and I have no clue in this case what that means, other than don't get into a car with a stranger without letting somebody know who it is and where you're going, unless you want to be unalived, disappeared, all that stuff. But, and it does happen, bitches. It does. You can take my word for it. We've got experiences. All of us have. Oh, Lord, help me. I need a drink. I really do. Those of us who may not be totally into sports the way some people are, but you can take advantage of it, right? You get to see all these hot men and their jock straps, the short shorts on the tennis courts, basketball, football, baseball, crotch grabbing. Oh my God. I mean, there are so many reasons to watch it other than the actual sport. But I'm just saying, don't you agree? And to me, there's a lot of gay porn that they have a setting in a locker room or in the shower at the locker room at the gym. I think the people who put together porn really do know how to tap into most of our fantasies. And I have seen some really fucking hot naked men in the locker room at the gym. I have. But I also have noted many, many men ages 75 to 95 with balls hanging down to their ankles.
That's the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Why the hell, bitches? Why are you just running around all over the locker room, just flopping and slapping your nutsack all over the place in front of all of us, acting like you're standing there in a three-piece suit when you're in your birthday suit, and I'll use that term loosely, just letting it all hang out, even though most of us are just trying to get dressed. What the fuck? You think we want to see all that? Maybe some do, but as for me, again, what the fuck? Do you honestly believe that all of us want to see your sagging butterball turkeys hanging there just below your little bitty pee-pee? Honestly? What are you thinking? And no, I am not trying to body shame, but I need my space, and I don't really want butterballs and tiny pee-pee right in my Kool-Aid. I mean, come on, people, you understand that, right? It's about boundaries sometimes. And if you want to let it all hang out, that's fine, but don't let it be sagging on my shoulder when I'm sitting on the bench trying to put on my socks. Jesus. You get that? I mean, honestly, we're not trying to be difficult, but let's be real here. I don't know, maybe that's something that makes you feel more like a man, to be hanging out naked in front of a bunch of heterosexual men. I don't know. I kind of get it, but I don't think I want everybody to see me if my balls are dragging the floor. And I do believe it's common knowledge that most of us change clothes in the locker room. I only changed when I was changing in and out of a bathing suit. I would never shower at the gym because I just didn't want to. And there didn't seem to be a shot at hooking up, even though I'm sure some of you guys have done it. Haven't you? I'd love to hear the stories. I really would. Just tell me. Let me know, okay? We're here chilling right now with a drink. Well, mine's Diet Pepsi right now. What should the shot of the night be? Well, We all celebrate Tennessee football around here, so I guess maybe a Vol Bomb, perhaps. That could be it. And I know you're all saying, what the fuck is that? Don't ask me. I can't remember other than citrus vodka and Red Bull and something else. I don't know. But anyway, not that I, like I said, care about football. I just like looking at the hot players in tight white pants with jockstrap lines showing. I don't think I'm that unusual. I think all of you think the same way I do. Well, at least when it comes to sports. And I gotta ask too, those of you who went to church or go to church, have you ever done it in the church?
Wait, what?
Like in the men's room at the church?
Ew.
I'm really curious. My answer to that for myself is I'm actually not sure. Now, you're thinking, why do you mean you're not sure? Well, I have what I believe was just a dream that I jacked off in the men's room at church. I think it's a dream. I don't think I really did it. What kind of a dream was that, though? That's some kind of dream to have, right? Oh, and speaking of that, wet dreams. A lot of guys have had them. I've never had one. I've never had a wet dream, to my knowledge. Now, I've had purposeful wet dreams where I was awake and jizzing all over the bed.
Ugh.
I'm surprised my mother didn't challenge me all the time about sticky underwear and messy sheets and stuff. What the hell?
Ugh.
Y'all want to get in the car and go cruising? We could do that. We could drive down to the Sonic and holla at the men's. See, the gym is right there too. We could go on a tour or something, claiming that we're interested in becoming a member and request to see the locker room. Years ago, I was taking swimming lessons by one of the trainers there at my gym. And Jesus Christ, hot as fuck. He was. And sometimes he would wear trunks, but a couple of times he wore Speedos. And oh my God, he was supposedly straight, but I have my doubts. I'll just say this. After we had a swim lesson, I would go home, jump in the shower, and beat off. I don't know what it was about him other than his beautiful body. I mean, his personality wasn't the grandest of all. I mean, seriously, it wasn't. So I don't know about that. I guess just having someone touch me to position me to learn certain swim strokes. Strokes. Oh, God. I wish I would have followed him into the locker room to watch him change into his bathing suit. Jesus Christ. You heard all the stories about the water in the gym's swimming pools, that it was just really nasty ass stuff. Ugh, gross. And you think about all y'all stank booties up in there. No wonder it was disgusting. Ugh. To say it was shitty is an understatement. Stank booty. Oh, Lord, I do need a drink, don't I? No, I need some hot mints is what I need. It's so interesting. I've noticed on social media, like Facebook Reels and things like that, all these male porn stars are acting like they're just average couples that are doing these things. And I guess it's kind of sad, or is it more intriguing that I recognize them and I've seen them do things that probably made Dr. Ruth blush. If you ask who's Dr. Ruth, I'll slap you silly. Look it up, bitches. It's called Google. Google Dr. Ruth and you'll figure out who she is. But she was a famous little bitty tiny like German woman living in America, and she was a sex therapist. She was an expert, and she was really entertaining for her time. Oh, she's dead now. My God. Long time ago dead. But anyway, that's what I was getting at, you fuck faces. So judge away. Just because I know all the old pop culture doesn't mean I'm out of date or old-fashioned. I mean, just because some of my favorite female singers didn't sing or rap wet-ass pussy, Lord of mercy, you think that's going to be one for the Hall of Fame? Don't think so, bitches. Don't think so. Jesus Christ, Alan, I sound bitter as fuck tonight, don't I? Oh, nothing that a good hand job wouldn't take care of, right? Would you join a gym just for the possibility of hooking up with hot guys? It's kind of a big investment, isn't it? I'm just saying. Speaking of college football and the porn aspects of it, obviously, if college football is in season, all the students are back at school too. And the best thing about college is watching all the hot guys walking back and forth from class. Oh, I'm telling you, this new squad walking along the streets, they're worth looking at. I have to say, you couldn't ask for better decoration, even if it was Christmas. Yes, I've whistled at them, but not with the window rolled down. I just whistled at them inside the car because I don't need anybody throwing rocks or bricks at my car. It's paid for, damn it. I'm not ready to buy a new one. Jesus. Again, just call me a dirty old man, okay? I don't know what else to say about that. And speaking of porn, very interesting night at happy hour the other night. I was having a really bad day, and we were having horrendous storms. There was even a tornado warning at one point. So instead of going on home and facing all that horrible traffic, I went in to the bar to have a couple, but I was really stressing, so I was drinking more than a couple. Really, I was. And a guy comes in, and he's very attractive, very handsome, muscular, and he knew me, but I couldn't place him at first. And we were making small talk, and I was still trying to figure out where I knew him. And he just went, "Were you at the pool party where I got fisted?" Then he says, "Well, based on the look on your face, no, you weren't." Anyway, he was drinking this drink that I had never heard of, which is kind of a shock to me. It's called an Irish trash can. And it's got like 5 liquors in it, and it's topped with a can of Red Bull that goes into the glass. So it's kind of like a trash can. But apparently, with like 5 liquors or whatever it's got in it, it's a very potent drink. And so it doesn't take very many to knock you on your ass. I was impressed. I just had never seen it. It's a beautiful color. And I just thought, all that Red Bull with all those liquors, how does your body handling all that shit, you know? But hats off to him. He did it. He was feeling no pain by the end of that second one. But by that time, I had to get home. The next day was a working day, and it wasn't fun trolling into that office with a fucking hangover from hell. But I did it. I have a rule. If you party during the week, a hangover is no excuse to miss work. I use it as my punishment. Maybe it will stop me from doing it again in the future. But obviously, up to this point, it never has. So, booyah. Whamma-lamma ding-dong. Chicky-chicky bang-bang. Whatever the fuck that means. But I would have been tempted by him. Well, I mean, I guess I called his bluff. He wanted a blowjob, and I said, "Let's go. The men's room is right over there. I'll blow you." And he blinked. I couldn't believe it. I thought he would have said, "Well, let's go, bitch," but he didn't. So he missed out. I probably lucked out, though. I'm not trying to judge, because I'm not a judge. Well, that's a bullshit lie. Everybody's a judge. But I had this image in my head of like blowing him and somehow getting crabs in my beard. Ugh. Is that even possible? I'm sure it is, right? Crabs are just a different form of lice. So whether it's in your head, your face, or your crotch, they're still nasty. I'm not saying the people that have them are nasty. I've gotten them. I think I told you once. If you don't remember, go back and listen to it. One of my boyfriends gave them to me, saying that his roommate had them and it was very easy to spread them. Yeah, sure. Now you know one of the reasons why he's an ex. Oh, we just passed the Starbucks. Should we get coffee? Nah, we're going to drink, so we don't need coffee, do we? Golly bum. Anyway, unfortunately, most bars don't serve Pepsi. Well, here's a little secret. Most bars and restaurants really don't serve Coca-Cola or Pepsi. Most of the time, it's a cheap knockoff. Have you ever heard of something called RC Cola? Well, there you go. Certain restaurants, and of course like the movie theaters, they have contracts. So if you're going to certain theaters, they'll either have Coke products or Pepsi products. And that's just the way it is. And they are legitimately Coke and Pepsi products. They will not cut corners on that. But would you recognize anyway? I think you wouldn't. I don't think anybody really cares, even though they say they do. Jesus. All it's about is the men. All we care about is sex, sex, sex. Am I wrong? I think I'm right. At least most of the time. Holla. You know, all this talk about porn, I wonder if y'all think that I'm jealous of porn stars. And I'll be the first to admit it. Yeah, some of them I am jealous. There are some very beautiful men that do porn that I absolutely would love to be doing it with. But I know it's a very short-lived career, although some have defied those odds. I mean, Damian Cross has been in the business for a long time. Sean Duran has, and they're fabulous. They're beautiful to look at. You know, even Christian Wilde has been in for quite a while. But it's funny how you'll see somebody that's at the top of the game, and then they just suddenly disappear. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I mean, obviously, Jeff Stryker is famous for his old porn, even though I didn't think he was that great myself. His accent and the way he talked, it just sounded, well, it sounded fake, but, you know, obviously when you're watching porn and you see both people have an orgasm, we see it squirt out. That's not fake. I know you can fake the feelings, but can you fake the attraction? I guess some of them do. I've heard the stories of actors taking Viagra or other ED medicines, erectile dysfunction medicines, stimulants to keep it hard. And I guess there's this what is it that you can inject and into your wanker and it'll keep it hard for many, many hours. So maybe that's it. We don't know the duration of the sex time. We just see the edited version, right? I wonder, do they just get bored with being in the business? Now, some of them I know it's their kink and they wouldn't give it up to save anybody's life. And I would love to have a taste of that. And I told you before, you know, that one time at a pool party, I lived out a fantasy that would have been a sort of porn style fantasy where I fooled around with somebody in front of everybody. And it was hot and it was fun. And it just increased my legend. I become an even bigger star.
Yeah, boy.
They're blowing smoke up my rear end so bad, I'm sending off smoke signals.
The part that gets me the most is when, you say you're fooling around with somebody, you're having a sexual encounter of whatever type. And if you go back to one of the first episodes of Alan After Dark, I talk about this, where you can tell the person is actually using dialogue from a porno. It cracks me up sometimes. I think, and it may be a gay thing when it comes to porn, but I think porn has more influence in the gay male community than it does in other communities. Depending upon the genre. It's very clear that right-wing conservatives watch a lot of trans porn. There's really no doubt about that. There are studies that show that. But that influence from X-rated movies, I think it does affect and influence our behavior in the sack. Our sexual adventures are painted with the impressions that we got from a porno, especially the ones that we really enjoyed. I think we maybe even subconsciously really do want to have those types of experiences. And sometimes that kind of comes through in your sexual adventures. I just sometimes get thrown by it when I recognize the words, the pattern that have come from a porn. It's okay. It's fine. It has no weight one way or the other, except for my partner at the moment might be affected by me chuckling or laughing out loud when I hear something that I recognize, even though perhaps they might be angry or realize that I really do watch quite a bit of porn certain days of the month and know that, recognize the dialogue. But we all have our favorite clips, right? We all have our favorite actors in porn, don't we? I know, Tim, you think you don't, but I bet you do. There are certain people you watch more than one time. Maybe you don't know their name, but I bet you seek them out somehow. Or you have those links saved somewhere Don't tell me that you don't. You do. Ha 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 ha. Nothing wrong with that. Not trying to judge. I promise. Because I have my favorite little clips too. So that's my to-go bag when I need to get a boner sometimes. Or just when I'm enjoying my alone time with a stiffy. I can't think of a better way to spend an afternoon by myself. Can you? I can't believe it. Here we are again at the end of another episode of Alan After Dark. I hope you've had fun and have been entertained, and I didn't cause brain rot, hopefully. And never forget, sinners and saints, take life by the balls and be real. We'll see you soon.